one of the most common mistakes, especially early in the planning process, is getting so excited. Okay, we're just engaged. When I'm going to go on to Wedding Wire, the knot, and I'm going to just look at every venue under the sun, and I'm not really going to qualify these venues with what my needs are. So you get really excited about the aesthetics that a particular venue or venues are bringing you, but you might not realize that we have a venue here that only holds 80 people. It's gorgeous. There's big mountain views and a pond, and it's charming. But if I need 300 guests at my wedding, I don't want to waste my time and get my heart set on something that isn't going to work for the logistics of my day. I need to have these 300 people. My parents won't let me have the wedding without all of their best friends and colleagues, right? So I think just knowing before you jump in, before you start going to see venues, like, what are your deal breakers? Like, we need to have this many people. We only have this much money. How much of your budget is going to go towards a venue? What is my priority? Do I need to get married, or do I really want to get married this year? Can I wait 2 years? And what season am I looking at? That way I'm not getting my heart broken because the venues that I'm looking at don't match like my other need. And then I can select and narrow everything down before I start talking to people even, and then go on site tours and then get my heart and fall in love with that venue. But don't fall in love and then logistically it doesn't work. I think coming with a list of those questions, what is the most important things to you? Is it food? Is it the band, guest count? I need to have these things because you want to make sure that venue that you're going to, that they're going to really meet these needs. If I have a 15-person band at my wedding, does that venue accommodate the electricity that it needs? Does it have the space? What are the sound ordinances? Are you not allowed to have amplified music beyond a certain time? And you don't want to pay a band all this money and then they only go to 8:00. You really want to make sure that what your vision is and is in line with that venue, and you come prepared with those questions. Again, so then you don't end up picking a place that isn't going to meet your needs. At the end of the day, it's all about you, and any good venue rep is going to be able to get all those questions answered for you. I wouldn't even say just up to your standards, but that you have a good rapport with them, that your personality fit. And I would say this goes for every vendor that you're working with your wedding, a wedding planner, people doing your hair, your makeup, the photographers. You want to make sure that you get along really well and you have the same vibe. And just being able to sit and have a conversation with people. You hear stories of people hiring the friend as the photographer. But does that photographer have the aesthetic? Do they have the style that you're looking for? Same with a venue. When you're looking at a venue, does it have the style you're looking for? But that includes, what do the linens look like? What do the tables look like? What's the view out the window? What are all those things that are coming together? Does that all match your vision? Will they work with you then to accommodate that? And by sitting and getting to know those people and knowing, will you work well and will you mesh well, is really important, because if you don't, then maybe it is the next place that you go and pick. So to balance your budget and your vision, I think, again, it's really being thoughtful in what your priorities are for your wedding. So is it the band? Is it flowers? Is it the view from the venue? And then looking at, for me, always the best way, where if you want to have a certain aesthetic to your wedding, look at your guest count. If you have a huge guest count, every other element of your wedding is going to cost more. So if you want to make sure you're balancing everything together, is how could I maybe cut my guest list? Do I need to have, the cousin I haven't talked to in 25 years, or my best friend from kindergarten that I haven't seen? Really looking at those, because you can just spend that money to create the aesthetic that you're looking for, instead of just having every person you've ever met. I think the biggest thing from a wedding I just had is it's about you at the end of the day. So no matter how big or small or the venue, take the little things that really bring out your personality. So I had a wedding, they had little games that you could play at the tables, and they had every little detail, nothing very expensive, just brought out their personality and really made it shine and made it feel different. than any other wedding that have seen this summer. And I knew it was theirs just by walking into the space. And my other story is here at the Equinox, we have 3 main wedding venues. One is out at our pond pavilion. It's on a pond. It's gorgeous, big views of Mount Equinox. The other is our very stunning colonnade ballroom with the gorgeous chandelier, very formal. And then during summer months, we also have a big tent out on a meadow surrounded by gorgeous trees and mountains on all sides. 3 very different aesthetics, and they hold different numbers of people and therefore very different visions and what you might want to have. I work with a lot of weddings that are over 200 people, and they love our pond pavilion. I cannot put 200 people in an 80-person building. It just doesn't work that way. So one of the best advice I have for people when you do fall in love with that spot that maybe doesn't work entirely for you is to see how we can get creative to use that space. So can we use that space for photos, for engagement photos, for first look photos? Can we use that space to do a rehearsal dinner or even engagement dinner? Where can we find those places that maybe don't fit with the whole vision of the wedding, but are sentimental to you or just really just get you excited? Where can we incorporate them in different ways into your day so you don't have to completely give up on what that vision was?